So today, I'm very grateful to have my teacher, my mentor, and most importantly, my good friend to join us for this session today. Some of you might know him. He is no stranger to the Buddhist community. Maybe you've seen him at Buddhist Fellowship, maybe you've seen him at Wat Ananda Youth. I personally know Adrian for more than 10 to 15 years now. I've seen him in his business with a team of three, three including him. So just three people. And now with a staff strength of more than 170 people and having 6 training centers around Singapore. Transforming over 200,000 professionals by equipping them with critical core skills, to really help them in their professional work. So I present to you the man who made a dent in the training industry in Singapore, the amazing, not Spider-Man, but Mr. Adrian Ang. Welcome.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Yes. So welcome, Adrian.
Yeah, thank you, Fimo, for saying so much about me. I don't think I'm amazing. I'm just doing what I like to do. I just probably just do it in the way that I think is right. And now this is where we are and so on. I'm very fortunate to meet a lot of very good people in this journey of business. Of course, along the way, as you meet good people, you meet people that are not so good. But that's life. So we just continue where we are, what we are doing, and build to where we are today. Thank you for inviting. Yeah.
Yes. Maybe we can start with the first question to you.
Yes.
What is the inspiration behind? What inspired you to start a business, and what kept you going for all these years?
Okay, what inspired me to start business? I think there are 3 factors to inspiring me to become a businessman. First of all, it's my dad. My dad is a renovation contractor. It is more of a self-employed rather than a businessman, because he actually don't have staff. But I was with him when I was younger, going around to look at different renovations and all this. That kind of inspired me to one day have my own business and so on. So the first one is definitely my dad. The second probably thing is books. I think it's very important for all of us to read books. I mean, I have 3 children. I always encourage them to read books, and books definitely change the way I see things. One of this very good book that I read is I believe many of you will probably have heard of it, which is Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. That book inspired me further to want to do something for my life, to want to set up passive income, to want to start a business. So that book I easily read like 3-4 times easily. And of course, the third thing is the environment. My dad business took a turn when I was in my upper secondary school days, and when I go over to my polytechnic, I supported myself very much, and of course I do tuition. I teach students in tuition, but I realized that by having every time festive season, Valentine's Day, I sell flowers. I get a bunch of my friends to teach them how to wrap flowers and then to sell it. I take orders during Chinese New Year at Chinatown. I have a friend who has a shop in Chinatown. I rented the shop and start to sell ladies' handbag. Doesn't work, I start to sell bubble tea and different festive, and then Christmas days I buy a lot of cheap Christmas hat and sell it on together with my friends on the street of China, on the Orchard Road. So the environment kind of trigger me to start to think about how to earn money. So I think probably these are the things that inspire me to become a businessman today.
Wow. Yes. I think there's the push, right? That in internal the environment, your dad, that it pushes you to really think outside the box, looking at Robert Kiyosaki, looking at the way we see money. It's very, very new way of looking at it. I personally read that book as well. Yeah.
Nice. It's the joy of an idea where you have an idea that maybe this idea can make money. Then you try to act on it, and eventually you see a result that you earn this amount of money. Of course, especially when I first started, a lot of times when we think, oh, this thing can earn a lot of money, but end up it only earn a little bit. But it's okay. The joy of nothing, having an idea, acting on it, eventually getting an outcome is something that excites me a lot. Even till now, yeah.
So, they got a saying where business is a dog eat dog world, very cutthroat environment. The first one that go to the market will get the pie of the share of the pie. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, my dog eat dog world. Okay, if you approach the business world, or if you approach anything with the mindset that it is a dog eat dog world, you will eventually be eaten by a bigger dog. The karma, right? I mean, you look at it. The mindset of approaching with things has to be very careful. I mean, when I approach business, when I learn Buddhism, one of the key things is you need to always be guarding your mind. How is your attitude towards things around you, towards people around you? So in business itself, you definitely come across things that are not in your favor. And competition is definitely something that is around you when you go into business. Of course, everybody wants to earn money, and even if you are the first to go into the market, if it is going to work, people see that it is working, you will have a lot that continue to come in and try to snatch your pie, and that is
they will come and copy you.
Yes, of course. So that is you have to continue to make things better, to continue a competition. That is business. If you think that by doing one thing and you continue doing it for the rest of your life and you can earn a lot of money, sorry, the business world doesn't work like that. So firstly, in terms of the dog eat dog world, every things that's not favorable to you, you have a choice. You have a choice whether to revenge, whether to react to it negatively or to take it as a learning lesson. There's no right or wrong, but it's always a cause and effect. You don't do anything, that's also a cause and effect. So what do you put in? How do you react to it? Will eventually, over time, you see how the whole character of your company, because the company takes shape of the entrepreneur character, and eventually with that character, you will shape how your company would be like at the end of the day. I would, instead of competition, I always like to use this phrase called competition. You collaborate with even your competitors. And in the business world, I can share with you that in this digital age, things are moving so fast. The speed of change is tremendous. By only collaboration, you are able to move things a lot faster than the rest of the people. So this is something that is very critical. And instead of talking about the dog eat dog world, I would think that it is an environment that actually you could have true friendship, true partnership that is there in the business world. It's not always everybody is there with an agenda. Yes, we all work together with a common goal, but there could be real friendship, real partnership that's there, which I have managed to get a lot of them throughout this whole journey of business life.
Thank you. Yes, that's definitely one thing off my mind. when I think of business and a cutthroat environment. So, following up on that question, just a follow-up question. So I think you meet many unkind people or not so nice people, right? So what do you do? Like how do you handle them?
Okay.
If they are out there to, be very nasty or whatsoever.
Okay, first of all, be wise. Be wise. Being a Buddhist doesn't mean you have to be weak. Being a Buddhist doesn't mean it is okay for people to take advantage of you. I'm not sure whether you all have heard of this story whereby there's this particular snakes that used to harm people, and then one day he listened to a Dharma talk by a monk, and he decided that, okay, from now on, I'm not going to harm anybody. I'm going to make peace with human beings. So this snake start to go to the market, sit there, and then start to meditate. And in a very early state, when people see that there's a snake, they run away. But after that, they see that this snake is not moving. They start to make fun of it. Some children even throw stone at the snake. And eventually the snake got hurt and then go back to the monk and say, hey, you say it has to be kind, but at the end of the day, you see, people throw stone at me, people hit me, and now I'm injured all over. And then the monk replied, he said, I'm asking you to be kind. I ask you not to harm people, but I never ask you not to hiss, not to tell them, don't do it, and to frighten them off. So be wise. Being Buddhist doesn't mean you have to be weak and everything that people hurt you, you have to still smile and say yeah and nod your head. It doesn't mean that, when people push you to the corner, you need to tell the person back that I'm not comfortable with it. Is there a reason why you want to do this? Talk about it. Let the person know that you're uncomfortable with it. A lot of time when people are taken advantage of, they still smile, they still nod the head, and then after that, the other party don't know that you are actually not happy with it. They continue doing things to hurt you, and eventually, whose fault? It's not just the person's fault, it's your fault as well. You're inviting this to happen. So, one advice is that it is important to let the person know that I'm not comfortable. And if you think that these are people that I'm not comfortable with because of the way they work and so on, then distance yourself from it. There's no need to always stick to the person that you feel that you are unhappy about. There are a lot of people that are wise. They are wise. Wise is not smart. Being wise is I'm quite sure that you look around you will see some people, maybe some elders they have a lot of wisdom. The thing they say makes a lot of sense. So these are the people that you should spend more time with. All of us know time is very short, life is very short. Spend time with people that is worth spending time with. As I grow older, I realize that people that I don't enjoy with, people who I think that every time I'm with the person, I feel unhappy and all these things. I start to ask myself, why do I want to do that? Why do I just go to people that I like? I gain more from the wisdom that they have. So that is probably my approach to people around me.
Thank you. I want to move on to the next on mentorship. I'm very thankful to have you mentoring me and teaching me public speaking. I remember last time when me and Chan Hao and Aaron came into the room and practicing public speaking. The number one winning factor that you shared with us when we are lost for words is to ask questions. So, I think, can I ask if, do you have a mentor? And could you share your relationship with him or what do you look for in a mentor? Because I think as we go, you mentioned a lot about it's very important on who you mix with, who you spend time with, and how they build, how the way you see things. And I think in this community, I've learned a lot, and I'm spending a lot of time with SBM and the Buddhist community, and it really shapes me the way I see things, the way I handle life. So any thoughts on mentorship? What was your experience? and how it helped you, or any attributes to a good mentor?
Okay. First of all, a mentor is different from a teacher. A mentor is different from a coach. A mentor is more of a person that's like a guru. And the approach of mentorship as compared to teaching and all these things is very different, because the amount of time that a protege, a mentee spend with a mentor needs to have a substantial amount of time, to a point that the mentor influence the protege or the mentee way of thinking. So mentorship works like that. It's not just like a teacher whereby it's a one-to-many. I teach from the knowledge from the books and on the life, but a mentorship kind of relationship require a person to spend a lot of time with the mentor, so that the mentor, the way he talk, the way he shared, the way his behavior is, will influence the protege to be like how the mentor would be. So choosing a mentor is critical. You get a mentor that is unethical, eventually you get influenced to the different way of looking at things. Finding a mentor that with integrity, with their whole values, is critical. I'm very fortunate that when I was younger, I have Sun Han as my mentor, Brother Craig Sun Han, who taught me about Buddhism, who influenced the way I think, I look at things, and that is my growing years when I was in my youth, and that shaped me to become who I am today. So that is something that is critical. But you must also understand that, like I was saying, a mentor is like a guru, where when you first join in, his level is very high, and your level is a lot lower. But as you move along, the mentor could become eventually a friend that over many years you could spar thoughts with the mentor, and to a point that you may be able to even influence back the mentor in terms of the way you think. So that is how mentorship relationship would grow as we move along. Look for a good mentor. Look for a good mentor that is able to hold himself upright. Don't just listen to advice. Don't just listen to things. Go and test it. Go and experiment it and see whether is what the mentor is saying is true. Is it really making you a better person? So that's my advice to all of you, and good luck to everyone for getting a good mentor. It's very critical to get a good mentor if you want to really grow fast enough in your career, in your business.
Thank you. Yeah, in SPM we also have a mentorship program. That's why I come up with this question, linking to mentorship. We got a question in the chat. Feel free. Amy, if you'd like to unmute yourself or ask. If not, I can also help to ask the questions.
Yeah, so Brother Adrian, thank you so much for your sharing. Obviously the journey of an entrepreneur, I'm sure it's not a smooth sailing one, and there will be waves of challenges that you have. Would you be able to share with us what is one of the lowest point you have encountered, and how did you overcome that or learn from that transformation itself?
Lowest point. I have many low point, which I don't know which one is the lowest. And this low point is like every now and then. Even now, I have low point every now and then. People to see you okay and all these things, but in business, it's always like that. It's high point, it's low point. The beginning years are difficult. When I first started my business, I was merely 20 plus. And 20 plus year old, together with my ex-partner, we were enthusiastic. We see some success. We start to expand. We start to go over to Vietnam. I started school in Vietnam, and the partnership in Vietnam doesn't work. We were kind of chased out by the Vietnam partner, asking us to leave Vietnam. I was threatened that if I don't leave Vietnam within 24 hours, I don't need to leave Vietnam anymore. So there are a lot of all these things that happen, and being young, being ambitious, I started to pull out a few of the staff from Vietnam, and I started my another business in Vietnam itself, try to compete with my former school that I started a language school in Vietnam. So we pull some of the staff over, and every day there are gangsters that come to our office. There are police who ask us that you don't have a license, why are you operating here? And back in Singapore, the so-called stable business, where we get contract from our clients. Eventually, two of my master trainer came out, go to my client with a much cheaper price as to snatch over our business, and we start to sue them. Everything is in a mess at that point of time, and we don't really earn much money at that point. So eventually, I remember taking a flight back to Vietnam, and telling my staff that we need to close down the operation in Vietnam. I remember going to the toilet and cry, because I feel that I have disappointed them, because I asked them to come out from their former company and to join me, and yet I was not able to make the business work. So I was very sad. In fact, I helped all of them to find a new job, but none of them take up the offer because they say it's okay. But we are still friends even till today. I remember my 10 years anniversary for my current company, they were still there. And at my weakest point at that point of time, my ex-partner just told me that I couldn't take it anymore. Why don't you buy over my share? So with all the money in my bank and borrowing money from my parents, I buy over his share of a company that's losing money, and I continue the business. So that's one of the lowest point of business. But I think because of the way I treat people, I have staff that continue to stay with me, drawing a salary of less than $500. At one point of time, I don't even have money to pay them, and they still continue to stay with me. And today, after 14 years, they are still with me. But right now, they are holding positions like general manager, a chief strategic officer of the company, and I also given them shares to the organization. So that's probably the lowest point of my life. Buddhism definitely helped me a lot. You see, Dharma Buddhism is very interesting. It is a foundation of life, where just like when you are in your primary school, when you're kindergarten, you learn mathematics, you learn science. At a point of time, you don't know why this knowledge is important to you. Why do you need to learn all these things? But it serves as a foundation. As you grow older, the contexts are different, but the foundation play a very important role. In my company, there are some of my colleagues, every time when it comes to things related to mathematics, they just cannot get it. And I probably think that last time when you were younger, you never put in enough effort to learn your mathematics. But the thing is, Buddhism serves as a very similar way, where after you learn Buddhism, it serves as a foundation. And this foundation, when you go into work, when you go into business, when you go into everyday life, you will see a lot of opportunity where this foundation will help you in your life to overcome a lot of things in your life. In the Western world, I believe all of you probably have heard of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. In Buddhism, I call it the Eightfold Path of Successful Entrepreneur. So I can tell you the Eightfold Path, all the way starting from the right vision. How do you see things as they are? Taking yourself out of emotion, taking a step out of the situation and seeing things as they are. And with the other part, with the second Eightfold Path of the right intention, looking in terms of what is the intention of things, why are you doing this thing, all the way to eventually right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. All this Eightfold Path can be applied to different aspects of your life, including business, and it has helped me a lot. There are so much techniques in Buddhism that we can use in different contexts and different parts of my life that shaped me to become who I am today, seriously. Just one technique of metta. Every now and then when I'm in trouble, when I'm in very low point of my life, metta comes into place. Metta helped me to overcome the situation. And it is not just in terms of personal, but it used in a lot of different contexts as well. Maybe I can share with you a little bit of tips on how you can use this metta technique that I use. Okay, sometimes you as a boss, you need to talk to some of your colleagues in some of the very hard to share things, like how do you see that things are not right for the person, and you need to give critique, or you need to tell the person that what you are doing is not right or not good enough. Before you do that, generate metta, do a metta meditation, wish the person well, generate that kind of energy. When you meet the person, you realize that when you talk to the person will be able to feel that you are doing this not because you are trying to pin me down, but it's because you really genuinely care for me. That kind of energy, people can feel it. I remember there was once, many years back, that was like almost 10 years back, I got a contract from an engineering company who gave me 10 classes of training. And that was like one of the potential turning point of my business. But just 1 week before the seminar, or before the courses of these 10 classes executing at the same time, the boss decided to terminate the 10 classes, to say that, oh, we want to cancel all the 10 classes. Can you imagine 1 week before, I have paid the deposit for the training room, and I have engaged more than 10 trainers, and suddenly 1 week before, he said he want to cancel everything. So at that point of time, I was so worried. I went to the office with the intention of trying to convince the boss to change his mind. When I go to the office, I think it's the secretary, I don't know whether it's secretary or admin manager or whoever, told me that, hey, today my boss bad mood. You better don't go in. You go in, you are in trouble. I said, no, I need to save my business. I need to go in and talk to him. Then she said, don't say I never tell you. You go in at your own risk. So he put me in the meeting room. Oh, when she said this in the meeting room, I was so scared. I was so frightened at the age of nearly early 30s, 30 years old. I was so worried. And what can I do when you're worried? You do metta meditation. I start to go into thinking of metta, transfer of merits, loving kindness, and that kind of calmed me down. And when the boss comes in, the first thing I said, I see that he's not happy. He come in and open the door dramatically and say, who is looking for me? What do you want? And instead of telling him what I want, I sat down peacefully, I smiled, and I said, sir, would you mind taking a seat? You doesn't look happy. Is there something that I can help you? And he got stunned. He paused for a while, and he paused for a few seconds, and then he said, my son, ask him to take art faculty. Go and ask him to take engineering faculty. Go and take what art faculty. I don't know why he shared with me this, And he also probably don't know why he shared with me this. And then we started to chat. We chatted for more than 1 hour. And eventually we never even talked anything about the cancellation. And he said, Okay, I know why are you here today. Everything will be settled. Anyway, thank you for giving me your advice.
No, this one got zip lock.
So, and after when I went back, he reactivated the 10 classes and even add another 3-4 classes for me to attend, and he himself attended the session. So this is the situation. So there are many techniques. You guys are in the right religion and right place. Yep, Pimo.
Yes, thank you, Bro Adrian. We got a couple of questions, but I think you already answered them. So Judy was asking, what was the favorite sutta or phrase or Buddhist saying that you tell yourself when in frustration, and also what comes to what Dharma teaching that comes to you when you're feeling frustrated. So I think most of it you already answered.
Let me add a bit of things. Is that okay, for myself, I realized that doing good is important. Doing good kind of generates certain energy, certain happiness. I realize that sometimes when I do charity, sometimes when I do help people, I feel happy. That kind of happiness is very different from other kinds of happiness that you have in your life. If you were to analyze the happiness that you get in different ways, the happiness that you get when you get praised by people, the happiness that you get when you're doing charity, the happiness that you get when you buy something that you really like, but when you analyze, the happiness seems to be very different. One of the difference is that the happiness that you get from letting go, from helping people, is a kind of happiness that is not attached to something. If you buy something and you're very, very happy about it, and when the thing is being taken away, you will feel sad immediately. So the happiness is different. Now, once you get the happiness, remember the happiness. And when you are in a very troubled situation, when you are in a very angry situation, when you're in a very sad situation, calm yourself down, recall back the happiness. Recall back the happiness, you get to see that, recall back the incident, recall back that happiness, the energy start to generate. And once they generate, hold it down a little bit and to target and to share it with people, or share it with someone that you love, share it with I mean, just to do the metta part of it. It is very powerful, and that technique kind of helped me in a lot of a lot of situation in my life itself.
Yeah, thanks. Seems so easy to do, but sounds very difficult to practice.
Do good first.
Yeah.
Do good first. When you do good, it's easy. You just do good. Just tell yourself that every day I want to see what good can I do. It's all around us. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Looking at the chat, we have one more question from Chan Hao. Chan Hao, would you like to ask Adrian directly to unmute yourself?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Adrian, for sharing your time. Just for the benefit of everyone here today, I'm sure you had to make many difficult decisions throughout your entrepreneurship journey. So I was just wondering if you can share some examples on, whether any of the tough decisions were made based on Buddhist teachings, and whether it has sort of influenced your decision making in different areas. Like, for example, like, I think we are supposed to be more compassionate as a Buddhist, but then as a leader of the company, you might have to make tough decisions like firing an incompetent worker, for example. So how do you kind of balance this and manage the trade-off in that sense?
Okay. Firstly, a lot of time when somebody, take for example, when somebody is not doing well in the organization and eventually we need to let the person go. Firstly, you must understand that letting a person go may not be a bad thing for the individual if you do it correctly. Of course, you have to do it correctly, but if there's a mismatch, sometimes a better way of things is to go separate way, is to let go and go separate way. But when we are doing such a tough decision, it is very critical to think for the person and to really show empathy to the individual. A lot of times when we need to let a person go, firstly, we have to check whether the person is okay if we are letting the person go. If we need to let the person stay on for the job a little bit more in order for him to find a job, we have to do it. That kind of thinking for the person is critical. You don't fire a person, and the way of taking a person out of the organization is critical. And that shows how the organization value people. One of the critical thing, one of the very tough decision that I made was that during circuit breaker. When the government mentioned that it is circuit breaker, and a lot of our business depend on face-to-face training, that would potentially mean that during circuit breaker, we may not have any income from the business or from the training that we do. And the grants that the government eventually decide to give comes later, that they announce later. But at that point of time, a lot of training companies decided to put their staff either on no pay leave or to terminate them. But as the organization, we calculated, we get all our financial controller or CFO to come in, we did the calculation, and we decided that we will not put no pay leave for any of our staff. We will still continue to pay them. In fact, it's not a very tough decision to make because I know that this is the right thing to do. But it is tough in terms of the operations of the organization, of the sustaining of the organization. But we have to do it. And eventually, a lot of our staff appreciated this. And when we get out of the circuit breaker, you see our business picked up very fast. And we recover back what we lost during the circuit breaker. So I believe in karma. I believe in doing good. That belief will shape the way, not just how I live my life, but also how the organization takes place. Trust in the organization is critical. As a leader driving a business, you are just like a person driving a car. Would you dare to sit on a person that drives the car recklessly, not abiding to the traffic rules, anyhow drive? Would you want to board that vehicle? You don't want, But if you know that this driver is going to take care of you, this driver is safe, you will want to sit in the car for a long time. And as the organization grows, you are no longer driving a car, you're driving a plane. And there are hundreds of people on your plane. So the more you need to be careful of what you do and how you do things, to be fair and to be right to the everybody in the organization itself. So this is something that is very critical, because by doing that, by running business, it's not a short-term thing. When you run business, you see a lot of people do things that are unethical. They're just looking for short-term gain. They get profitability, they get a lot of money, but it's short-term. How long do you want your organization to run? 1 week, 1 month, 1 year? People who don't do things right, you may not even have 1 year. And at the end of the day, whatever you earn, you are going to pay back many times more. But if you do things correctly, you do things with the heart, you can run your business a lot further. So when you are doing business, look far. Don't just look at the current thing. Don't just look at the short-term gain. Look at the long-term benefits of not just yourself, but also the employee itself. By having that kind of attitude, good people will come and join you. And when good people join you, they don't leave. They continue to build with you the organization. So that is a very key success of any organization itself. You see organization that keep on changing people, you will know that that organization will not be able to grow. No matter how good the boss is, or rather how capable the boss is. If people always come and go, you will know that especially the top level people, you know that this company cannot grow fast. I hope I answered your question.
Thanks, Sanhao.
Yes,
Thanks,
yes,
Adrian.
thanks.
Yeah, anyone, have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. I just got one question on time management. Now you have 170 staff managing 6 training centers. Do you feel you have work-life balance? That's one. And how do you achieve balance being an entrepreneur or business owner? Yeah, can you really have it all?
Let me answer this in a very good question. Work-life balance. Work is my life. And it is pretty balanced in a way. Okay, the thing is this. I remember last week when I have a date with my wife, and she drove to my office, and when I bought her car, she say, "Hey, hi, haven't seen you for a long time. How are you?" Actually not true lah. I mean, it's only a couple of days. I do work. I love to work. So it's not definitely working. It's not a chore to me. I do spend a lot of time at work, but I also spend a lot of time playing tennis. I play basketball. Every week I play tennis. Every week I play basketball. Every Saturday, Sunday, I will try my very best to spend the 2 full days not doing any work, but to be with my children and my family. And one of the weekday, I will try to have a date with my wife. Now, we talk about health. We talk about family. We talk about spirituality. We talk about relationship. We talk about career. Can all this be good? You all score 10 upon 10 or 9 upon 10 or 8 upon 10 for every one of them. Is it possible? Of course, it's possible. It's how you plan, how you put action to it. A lot of time when we approach things, I see a lot of people, when their head is itchy, they scratch their backside. You know things are not right, you put action to it. You have people smoking and say, "Wow, recently my health is very bad." What are you doing? You have people who are putting on a lot of weight and then eating all the oily food and say that, "Hey, I'm putting on a lot of weight, I want to lose weight." You must put in the right action to see the right result. And don't lie to yourself, don't find excuses. It's the action to make things work is there. Everyone knows. It's whether you want to do it or you don't want to do it. You want your health to improve. Write down what are the actions that you need to do, that you need to take. Now it's New Year, now it's still Jan. Good time for everyone to write your New Year resolution. Write what you want to do and what are the actions. Build a routine out of it. When you do that, you put in the correct amount of effort to your health. You do exercise, you go for checkup, you go for walk, and then in terms of your family, you spend time with them. It's quality time. Make sure that you have quality time with your family members. Some of the people, like your friends, you may not have a lot of time with your friends, but at least take the effort to organize a meeting with them every now and then. That goes the same for other relationships. So by putting in the action, taking action, you will find that things become better and better. I always feel that everything that you want to achieve, there are many factors revolving around an outcome. You want your kids to have good results. There are many factors revolving around your child getting good results. Take for example, does your child has a good tuition teacher? Take for example, does your child do you have a good environment for the kid? Do you spend time with your kid to run through the revision? So all these are different factors. There are some factors that you cannot control. There are some factors that you can control, and you do those that you can control and you put in the effort to control it, the chances of the outcome to come out the way you want is higher than the rest. In life, it's all about probability, it's all about this thing called luck. Luck, which is labeled under correct knowledge. You put in the effort, you increase the probability, luck will come. That is, you just like you look at a casino. How come casino in all over the world can make money? Just like the game of what is that game? Rolex or Rolex, okay? The one whereby you spin and then the ball will go to red, will go to green, and it will go to black. So if you bet on green, you go the ball land on red, you lose money. If you ran on red, ran on the color that you bet on, you earn money. But how come casino, this is supposed to be 50-50 chance, how come casino will still be able to make so much money out of it? Because there's a black. The black is the zero. You bet red or green, you'll still lose. With that little bit of probability that the casino have, over time multiplied by a lot of different game every single day, at the end of the day, they will win the money. In life, it's still the same. Increase the probability of success over time, you will be a big winner. So ask yourself, if I want my health to be better, if I want my relationship to be better, what are some of the things that I can take action over time? The outcome will be, the chance of getting the outcome that I want is a lot higher than the rest of the people. So that's my thoughts about this.
Thank you. Adrian, we got a question from BK. So he wants to know how much time do you put up to practice, spirituality, or even, put to your Dharma practice. How much time do you put out on a weekly, monthly, or anything?
Okay, the thing is this, there are different people with different way of approaching spirituality. A lot of time, the practice of spirituality in my own way is the matter of everyday life, how you see things, and how, based on the Dharma that you learn, how do you approach things in life. I try to do meditation every now and then. I don't have the discipline to do it every day, although I should, and I should do more. But the discipline of it is I may not have, but a lot of time in your everyday life, when you approach every single thing, are you practicing using the Buddhist concept? Are you approaching it in using the Dharma? I think that part is a form of practice as well. It doesn't mean, in my own point of view, it doesn't mean that you do a lot of chanting means that you are practicing. It is the only way that you practice. You do a lot of meditation, is the only way that you practice. Of course, every one of these things has its own benefit and its own outcome. I put a lot of conscious effort when you go into everyday life, how we approach life in a way that I learned from Buddhism. So I choose to do that very much on that. But I should do more. And with kids right now, I have 3 kids. I realized that through the kids, I would want to do more, and I also want to bring my kids more into the Buddhism context, or the Buddhist context itself. Yep.
Thank you. Thanks, BK. Hopefully we answered your question. I think I'll move on to the last segment on talking a little bit about entrepreneurship. For any aspiring entrepreneurs here in the chat or business owners, in your view, what kind of what attributes a good entrepreneur or business owner? Like, what is the number one mindset or characteristics do you feel someone can strive if they want to do a business?
Okay. I believe attitude is critical, not just in terms of business, but in terms of life, in terms of career. Attitude is very critical. What is your attitude towards things? I feel that attitude is just like a gradient to your success. You could have people who probably when you were younger, you all are in the same line, or in the same. The difference is very, very small. But a person with a good attitude towards life, or a good attitude towards things, the gradient start to shift. And when the gradient start to shift, when you go across the different time, 5 years later, 10 years later, you see the difference between a person with a good attitude as compared to a person that may not have a very good attitude. The difference becomes wider and wider. Over time, you see that, wow, the difference is actually so big. So attitude is what in my own opinion, what shape the gradient of things. In a short duration, you may not be able to see the outcome. In a short duration, you may not see the difference. But over the years, you will see that it actually have a very big difference between a person with good attitude and not good attitude. Of course, when it comes to business, there are risks. There are areas that you will feel very attached to, and therefore it is very important that learning Buddhism, how do you differentiate this? You see, there's a difference between greed and willing to strive hard for getting something. The desire, being greedy, there's a very strong desire that you need to get that. You didn't get it, you feel sad, and even if you get it, you are not happy enough. You probably want that. The greed part of it is something that is bad. But as a Buddhist, it's important to strive hard. The attitude towards striving to get what you want is healthy. So in terms of that, like what answering to your question is that running a business, attitude is key, but do also take note that there are many things that will come in. It is not just one answer to many things. It is a practice. Running a business is always every day there are new things that come up. Every day there are new situations that come up. You don't do the same thing over and over again. Every day is a new challenge. So having practicing Dharma will kind of help you to overcome many of these situations. How do you see yourself? Like what I shared just now, relook again at the Eightfold Path. Look at this Eightfold Path in the way of how you live your life. I look at it in terms of how I run my business. That will definitely help you to overcome a lot of challenges that you have in business itself. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Yes. Let me open up the. If there's any other questions from the crowd, let's give it a couple of minutes. I think I've reached the end of my Q&A from me. So I'll open it up to anyone who has any questions.
Brother Adrian, I got a Kepo question.
Yes.
My Kepo question is, why do you name your company Bells? Got anything to do with mindfulness bell or not?
No, because I like to eat Taco Bells. No, okay. Bells, bell is the spreading of knowledge. The sound of bell is like dong is the spreading of knowledge to people. It is still probably influenced by Buddhism, where the bell is, and the resonance of the bell, is what we hope to achieve. If you look at the logo, you can see a ren. So if you add all the stroke together, is where the three ren is, which form the word zong, which is a community. So this is what we intend to do. Of course, the shape is a bell shape with the clapper at the bottom. So the whole intention is that it is a community that we hope to build, to share knowledge, and to benefit people around us. So that's how we come up with the logo and the name.
That's so meaningful. Thank you for answering my Kepo question.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Thanks, Amy. Don't have to be entrepreneur question. It can be Kepo question as well. Okay. So yes, with that, I'd like to thank Brother Adrian once again. Thank you for joining us in this morning session. We look forward to many more upcoming ones. Do join us if you can, for some of our Saturday sessions.